Good. Okay, we're back. Okay. Je t'aime. There you go. Holy crap. I'm exhausted, people. I'm exhausted, but hold on, I'm gonna do one more video in essence today. When it's sunrise, sorry. I'm gonna show you also what I'm talking about. Look. Usually the sunrise was here. Okay, but now it's here. So by the time the sun goes up, then no? Holy. See, we're tired, so I didn't control that. I'm very worried. Oh. Je t'ai dit je t'aime plus de fois ou deux. Okay, good. Look at it though. You guys wanna see? You guys wanna see? Beautiful, isn't it? It's a bit too close to me. There you go. That's perfect. You know when you're so tired that your the phone is not clean. Bon matin.
Bon matin.
Ça va bien?
Oui, il y avait un samedi.
Oui.
Là-bas. Tu savais?
Non.
Non, j'ai regardé l'annonce du côté de la fenêtre. Pompiers, toi, motopompe.
Oui.
Motopompe sont venus.
Des pompiers, oui.
Les vannes, les pompiers sont venus.
Wow.
Oui.
C'était une grosse incendie, qu'est-ce qui t'est arrivé?
Hein?
Qu'est-ce qui t'est arrivé? Accident?
Non, c'est incendie.
C'est accident? Ou c'est criminel?
Je ne sais pas.
Parce que j'ai vu la police, moi.
Hein?
La police aussi est venue, la police.
Police aussi venue.
Je sais pas pourquoi.
Non, la police était là.
Bonne journée. It's nice. Usually we have the sunrise behind me. Now, for some reason, the sun has decided to move. She likes when I do. She likes it. Yeah. Whew, it's nice. Because this is the first time I get to wear it in like almost a couple of weeks. My hairs are freaking nasty. I have to cut them. You see what I was saying? I didn't lie. Yeah, I didn't lie. I don't lie, bro. I don't lie. Now we just have to get the timing. Sorry, guys. Oopsies. So yeah, so we're still doing the okay enough time remake news and how I feel about it. My train of thought, which is way too long already, but still. And this is gonna be the last video. This time I'm gonna sleep. Today I'm receiving my new phone. And when I say today, I don't mean because now I'm gonna sleep. This is sunrise, so we sleep during the day. But in about 12 hours, I'm receiving my new phone. It's gonna be a new journey. I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna be so thrilled, so excited. I'm gonna be so thrilled, so excited. Zdrowie. Also, I'll be playing Motoring Wave. So down for that, freaking down for that. So this is the part where I kind of hate doing this. So what happened was I didn't have the batteries. So then what we did was we wanted to charge. And when I went to take a break because I went to charge it, it was very hot. I went to film. I'm behind the scene with this one. This one, why is it there when the others are here? Because I want to get the sunrise right here. She's super nice, guys. Super nice. I had the same neighbors for 13 years. October 2012. 2012. Yeah, that's how long I've been here. So with the Zelda, even musically speaking, was going there. I think I was talking about Nabura, betraying your entire race, your entire culture, to help us. You know, so there's a lot of sadness in it, and I think this is why. So for example, when I say I'm a big fan of Zelda, I got tattoos of Zelda. It's not true. I love Ocarina of Time. I love Majora's Mask, but I never went further. So when I was a kid, I'm 33 years old. 33. I had a Game Boy Advance and I had a Game Boy Color. I also had a Game Boy DS. So the game that I had was what? The game that I had was, because I didn't have the GameCube. I didn't have the 3DS. So we had a recall of Ages. We didn't have Season Ages. Because I thought Ages and Season was the same game. So when my ass said, which one you want, I said the blue hair, because I like the blue. And I was like this guy also. And I played Minish Cap. Minish Cap I really enjoyed it. I mean, there's something magical about this game. With the mythical shell, we were able to collect some things. It was just insane. And we had what? We had Phantom Hourglass, which was okay, but at this point, that wasn't real. So Phantom Hourglass for me, because I didn't like the art style. And it wasn't really my thing. And an effort for me to be more pleased my mom. So I'm French. I was raised in French. I went to school in French. Everything I did was French. My real name is Stéphane. Because c'est francophone en maudit, là. So my mom, she saw me play. She knew that I was a big fan of Zelda, and I was gonna say Star Wars for some reason. For what was the reason? I just watched a couple of videos of Star Wars. I'm a huge fan of Star Killer and Cal Kestos. So yes, I've been watching lore videos about the two of them. And then for some reason in DS, French game were easy to get, so I got the French version. And Phantom Hourglass was very different. Because I went from being in a castle or, to being a villager, and it was very, like, I remember the captain, and I remember thinking that this guy was sort of like not necessarily a dumbass, but he was like, there's no scholar, he's not a mentor, right? And it was beautiful. Phantom Hourglass was super nice. We presented Zelda as a ghost, and then we had Spirit Tracks. Spirit Track was, again, I was too old for it. So what happened with Spirit Track is I got it, I was 19 years old, and I got kicked out of the house at 20. I never finished it. And then when I came back, I was like 24, and I was like, no, this is not for me. When I went back to get the game, it was not for me. So yeah, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are definitely my two favorites. We played a little bit of Zelda: A Link to the Past, but I never finished the game because I had a GBA version, which was good. Why did I like Minish Cap? Minish Cap also, it was sort of a different it was sort of perfection. I'm a huge fan of the GBA and the GBC. I grew up with that stuff, you know. So it was kind of perfection. You had a mobile. You had an handheld game for on the road to collect mystery shell to get character. You can have the story, right? And that was fantastic. Oh, it was fantastic. And I remember having my friend over. This is a true story too. I remember having my friend over, Olivier. Olivier Levasseur, t'es un gars qui est incroyable, mon gars. Je dis t'es gentil, mais ça se fait pas vraiment. Puis Olivier, he was a fan of the Zelda series. So what he did was, I remember my mom. This was a crazy story. My mom bought me Ratchet and Clank Deadlock, and we were playing. And it was a game that you could play at two, but he didn't like the game. So he was like, you know what game do you have? And I'm like, well, I'm playing this new game, which is Minish Cap. He said, oh, I finished it. So he played the Minish Cap. And the craziest thing is, he left the copy, because it was my copy. He left the copy with a save file. Which is weird because, like, holy crap, this is so nice. But I didn't get it. Okay, enough time. You remember when I told you I was scared of Goma? I would get people, not me, my mom, of course. My mom, she would kill for me. She'd kill anybody for me. And I remember my mom, right? My mom was like, see, I shouldn't have brought it up because now I feel like playing it. Look at this. And it depends because a lot of them are super cheap. So with this specific one, what I've heard is there's two copies. One of them is really cheap, and one of them is really like nice. So I don't know which one it is. I don't know. It's also 5 in the morning. Literally 5:26 in the morning. I want to play. We have this. We can have fingerprints. You know what? I'm gonna give myself a challenge. I'm gonna give myself a challenge. If I just this, I get the look at this song. I got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. I have Happy Birthday. And I got some Happy New Year. That's it. I don't have anything. I need to learn it. That would be so cool. That'd be really, really cool to learn. Because I don't know. I always felt like playing an instrument. I'm trying to do the guitar. The guitar was a bit too loud. I'm not a fan of my music. I tried. So yeah, it was life changing. And again, I think everything happens for a reason. So my mom was very generous and very look at this, the club I beautiful. My mom was very pro me playing games. She's like, my son is gonna test game when he's older. So she spent a fortune on buying games that had a good knowledge of gaming, which was amazing. My father, which is a bit more hardcore, is like, no, we're gonna go play outside, we're gonna make some friends. Yeah, okay, not sure. And it's kind of crazy. And yeah, it was just insane. And then my father, because of that, he didn't buy me PS2. He bought me a PS3. But I want you guys to understand something. I got Nintendo 64. I was, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years old. Well, I was the most popular kid in school because it was a rare. And then I got, 4 or 5 years old, it was 96, 97. And then, no. I must have got it like 90, no. I don't know when I got it. I don't know. I know Ocarina of Time was then out. And then, I remember going to see a movie. I don't remember the movie, but I remember seeing Majora's Mask on theaters. The trailer, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my god, just fucking get it. It's insane. And then the nuts part was I had a PS3. So you're gonna think about it, right? I had the Nintendo 64 since I was 4 or 5 years old, and I had a PS3 when I was 16. There's just 10-12 years in between. So then when I got the PS3, at first they would check the game that I had. Then they start trusting me, which they shouldn't do. So I started bringing back for my mom, because my mom, again, I had more games, and I had Zelda. Want to know something crazy? My mom was super productive, and everything I'm saying is true. Super predictive. My father was a bit more. He wasn't more carefree, but he was more trusting in the sense of he's an adult, he's a man, and men have responsibilities. So I trust my son to do the right thing. You shouldn't do, dude. You shouldn't do. And then my father, he would leave for work and leave me at home. Oh, the phone is empty already. You see, every battery is starting to get lower. Everything is starting to get lower, but it's normal. I've been working for 9 hours. By the way, after this, I'm going to sleep. I'll be going to sleep at like 6 o'clock. But that's still pretty good. And I just saw that him was at 14. It's 31. Nice. There you go. The phone is going to be charging twice. That was the dumb thing to do. That was a dumb thing to do. But surprisingly, there's not a mark more. Wow, insane. Please. The two phone fell. They're markless. Oh my god, you're fucking fantastic. You're my other big boy. You see, this is kind of crazy. This is charging. This is charging. So you see, she said about the firefighter. Yeah. So 3 days ago, I don't know. 3 days ago, we have firefighters. Firefighters, they come to explode. There's a fire there, and we're gonna get to the roof. So they cut the cord. They cut the electric cord, right? Also, what I did, which was fantastic, is I cut down. Again, this has nothing to do with the subject, but this is a live, okay? I'm not live on TikTok because, you know, I'm banned, but still, I'm banned for a couple of days. Not a big deal, but this is my TikTok live. Sorry about that. So yeah, so I'm apologizing about not being live. But then you see this, right? So you see that this one is still charging, it's still doing. We close it before. That way, even if it doesn't charge, I still have the 9 hours. Otherwise, if it closes, the file get corrupted, and I get 1 hour out of the 9. This is better. We've been filming for 9 hours and 42. So it's normal that we get a little bit of problems, you know? But nothing too serious. So now let's finish this video before I go to bed. Look at this, still. Kind of nice. So yeah, so like I was saying, my father gave me the PS3. Like, this is yours, sure. And then, there's something fishy, because that's a big gift. Not saying my father's not generous, but still. Then, my father comes in, and he's like, hey, you've been bad, give me the controller for the PS4, the PS3. And I'm like, okay, no problem. It happened once, it happened twice, it happened 3 times. And then he gave me back the controller, and he says, why aren't you playing with the PS3? I give you back the controller. I'm like, yeah, but I never have it. You always taking it away. So even when I got the PS3, I was more used to playing the Nintendo 64 because they didn't confiscate them. And I remember the craziest thing, which is another true story. My dad, when he bought the PS3, he didn't hide it well. He hid it behind his drawer for his room. How did I know? Because the cat was always hiding there. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna pet the cat because, you know, I'm gonna build a relationship with the animal of the house because I'm a bit excited, I'm a bit ADHD. So when he sees me, he's like, okay, well, this guy's a lot, you know? Just trying to be nice to him, you know? He's alone, I'm alone, so let's, you know, please keep me company, I'm gonna keep you company. I was a lonely kid, I didn't have any friends, right? So I see the PS3. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be a Christmas gift or my birthday. This is the summer. I'm like, you know what? I have time. So what I do is I delete Ocarina of Time, save file, I delete Majora's Mask, and from the summer to Christmas, I want to play 3 times Ocarina of Time, because Ocarina of Time had 3 save file, Majora's Mask has 2 save file. So you're like, okay, well, let's do the 3 of them, and then the 2, right? So then I want to get so tired of these games that I'm done, right? So yeah, so these games were fantastic. These were so meaningful. Again, you see the cloud here? I don't think about Ocarina of Time. When I think about the clear blue sky and some cloud, but you see it, and I want you to remember the power of the landscape. Look at the Gerudo Bridge, how meaningful it is. Look at it. Think about the Long Ranch, which is basically a couple of houses and a big ranch. Look at the Hyrule Castle, the famous garden that you had to go through. It was just beautiful. You still remember those. You still remember seeing the Grand Deku Tree, right? I remember my whole fucking life. Such a beautiful story. I was playing Ocarina of Time. I didn't speak English, and he bought me the game in English because possibly hard to find the French copies, right? Then I play the game, and I'm in the concrete, and I don't know what to do. So I explore, and I find a little hole, and I'm like, holy shit, what is there? So I go down there, I get destroyed, and then I see a Kokiri sword. Like, holy crap, Dad, I found the Kokiri sword. I had to do this, and I told my father the story. My father didn't care about games because he was an adult, a boomer, but a lovely boomer. He was like, dude, why are you telling me that? And I was like, this is important to me. When I know what the next time is, another crazy story. I told you Pokemon Silver was my favorite. I remember playing Pokemon Silver, and my first playthrough, I didn't speak English, so I didn't know the type. I didn't know, oh my god, I didn't know weakness and strength. So I didn't know that a rock move was strong against a flying move. I didn't know that. Then I thought I was getting lucky. So I started training my mons. And the magical happened. I find an Entei in the wild. And I'm late in the game. I'm about to fight the Elite Four. I caught it with my Master Ball. I went down the street to my mom. Mom, I got him. And I said, my mom, you know what she said? I know what you're talking about, but I'm happy for you. Yeah. Gaming was such important, you know? And then, there's so much left to talk about. You don't even know. There's so much left to talk about. Are you still charging or not? I fear seeing. And then we get into Majora's Mask. And Majora's Mask is a crazy story. Because Majora's Mask was not a game that I liked that much. Majora's Mask, this is the insane part. Ocarina of Time, I did not enjoy beating the game. I did not enjoy it. Why? Okay, so Ocarina of Time, as I mentioned, I started playing, I was 5 or 6 years old, and I couldn't get past Goma Queen. So I would tell people at school, they finished the game, they would be an adult Link, they would tell me the stories. Like, wow, this is such an, I would talk about Zelda at school. This is how much I love the game. And then, I was a nerd. And then what happened was, I think it was like grade 4 or 5. Fourth year of high school, I beat fourth or second, I don't remember. I know it was a pair number. And I go in and I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking happy. I beat Ocarina of Time. And people are looking at me like, dude, I beat this game 10 years ago. What are you talking about? And I was so happy. So for me, it was more of a mission. And then I played Majora's Mask. And this is the insane part. This is the complete crazy part. So when I played it for the first time, I was possibly 14, 15 years old. 14 or 15, okay? So then what happened was, I was loving the game. But I was so interested and I didn't really understand what they were talking about. Majora's Mask was so meaningful. It was the only game I ever went to check the walkthrough. Where is this mask? What do I have to do? Again, I was going to a French website. So the first part, it was the collectings. It was really the collectings, right? And then moving on, at the age of 20, I moved to the apartment, which is this one. And it's my apartment. And it's a lovely place and I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's I'm broke. I'm a lazy dude. That doesn't work. I'm lazy. But I have my PS3 and I have a ton of games. So I play my PS3. For some reason that happened, I don't know what happened. I get the red light of death. And I didn't play that much, that's weird. I get the red light of death. I'm like, holy shit. Dude, I'm completely lost my PS3. So I go back to my Nintendo 64. And this is crazy. I'm 22 years old. I'm playing Ocarina of Time. I'm having a good time. Back in the days, I was listening to radio. I remember eating soup. I don't remember what soup, but I was eating soup. Playing Ocarina of Time, hunting gold school dollars. And then, I have a depression. I'm 22 years old, I'm a depression. And my PS3 was broken. And I was too broke. I started really working, I was 24. And when I started working, I was working good jobs. I had money. My first job, I worked there for a month. I was like, you know what? You deserve something nice. I bought a PS4. I was so happy. I was so freaking happy. Yeah, I was so freaking happy. I remember my first game was Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor. Yeah. It was my first game. And do you know the craziest thing? It's another story. So I spent all my money on the PS4. And I have a little bit left over. So I'm like, okay, Ink, you have enough for one game. What do you want? Of course, impulsively, me see a game from Lord of the Ring, one of my favorite series, I buy it. I play the game. Right in the first couple minutes, I get killed. Then I noticed that this guy has been promoted to captain. He's stronger. Like, this guy, when he was weaker, killed me. It's okay, just avoid this guy. So I go down again. I get killed again. Now this guy I get killed is becoming a captain. And I feel like the game is so stupid. Because I'm like, dude, everybody can kill me, and everybody gets stronger by killing me. Which is the Nemesis system, which is a great system. It's one of the best systems ever made. But for then, it was just pissed me off. So I went back to playing video games. So at 22, I got my big depression. And I'm fully fluent in English. And I discovered Majora's Mask. Not the game, but the story behind it, the meaning behind it, the depression. I started becoming obsessed with the lore of the game. The number of times I read the Stone Temple theory, which is basically a theory of the Ivana, they went to war with everybody. There was this people that was worshipping deity, which was the tree goddess of Hyrule. They were worshipping the 4 giants, and the 4 giants are there. And the 4 giants are, okay, well, guess what? The 4 giants are, guess what? They go to war, and they go to create this Tower of Babel. And at this last second, Ilya, which is Zelda, throw a light arrow, and the temple shifts upside down. And that's why they find Majora's Mask. Yeah. It was kind of crazy. So I remember reading that and going insane over this. The meaning behind it. And apart from that, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, more Majora's Mask though. They're both game with hidden detail that was so cool. For example, there was this swordman who teach you technique. And in Majora's Mask. And if you can beat his record and shit like that, he gets a heart piece, which is kind of good. But then, people in Majora's Mask, the story is, there's a villain that goes in. We didn't even talk about the villain yet. We didn't even talk about the main subject yet, so don't worry, there's still a lot to talk about. So then the main villain, which is Majora's Mask, which is Skull Kid. But not Skull Kid. Majora's Mask, bring the moon down. Destroy Terra down. There's 2 groups of people. People that believe that the moon is going to fall. People that don't believe it. It's like, you're crazy, it won't fall, right? So then you have 2 clans. In that clan, there's a swordman. And when you train with him, he tells you that you're a wussy. He tells you that you're no good. He tells you that, I'm the best. And then he's afraid. And he's like, holy shit, I'm afraid. I'm the worst. there's this guy, and the coolest thing with which Majora's Mask is against is the usage of the characters from Ocarina of Time. So the real reason is, from what I heard, because I did research about this, not today, not for this video, thank God, because it doesn't show, but in general, because I was so in love with the game. And what happened was they developed Ocarina of Time. It was a huge success. And then they were talking about doing the GameCube. They're like, dude, we can still make a Zelda game. See, this makes me think of Ocarina of Time. This right here, Ocarina of Time. So they're pushing it. So they do, okay, well, they make Majora's Mask. So what they did was, in almost like less than a year, what they did was they created the game. They used the same image because they wanted to make it parallel. They used the same character, different story, you know? And then you have this character, which is a character from Ocarina of Time that you don't like, which is, I don't remember, Igor or something like that. He's the guy that sells Ganondorf's horse, right? He's the guy that sells Ganondorf's horse. And then he's like, well, I betrayed everybody. So at the end he's an asshole, but at the end he feels bad. Then Majora's Mask, what happened is, he's the asshole, which is get out of my way. And then, when you tell him a story, when you play music for him, he starts crying and says, I miss my brothers. So why he's pissed off is because a group will not come. So it's so complex. There's a boulder blocking the way from the group to come. And the singer, which is, again, one of the main characters of the game, which you play as Miko. Oh my god, I didn't even get into the most important part. This video is gonna be 3 hours long. Holy shit. Yeah, so the singer, which is I don't remember her name, but she is a Zora. You play Miko, which is our guitarist. Miko he dies trying to save the baby for the Zora, and because she's a singer and she's depressed because somebody stole her baby, which is again Majora's Mask. So Majora's Mask, which is cool about it is he's a prankster, which is not true. Skull Kid is a prankster. Majora's Mask sees a reason to be evil, sees an excuse to make some evil deed. It's like, okay, you want to play prank? Let's make a prank, you know. So yeah, so they won't play. And then in Majora's Mask, what you would do, which is even cooler, is rumor is that Link dies. So Link, so they go to Lostwood. There's a theory that when you go to Lostwood, if you stay for 2 to 3 days or more, you turn into a Stalfos. If you're a kid, you turn into a Skull Kid. Okay, so Link was protected because he had the protection of Deku Tree. When Deku Tree dies, the protection of Link is through Navi. And Majora's Mask, Navi leaves. So Navi is the annoying girl that says, "Hey, listen." So why she leave? The reason she leaves is because her mission is accomplished. So the fairies have one mission. When the mission is accomplished, they disappear. That's their gift. They're immortal until they accomplish their deed. I can't film it because it's too hot. So then Link loses fairy. He's like, oh my god, I lost my fairy, dude. What am I gonna do? You know? He's sad about it, which is normal because it sucks. So then he goes in. He says, okay, well, let's fucking do it. So he goes in to the Lostwood to find Navi, which is why he's in the Lostwood. You know? And then Skull Kid has 2 fairies. There's a lot of people that think that Skull Kid is Link. Link's childhood was stolen. Then I don't believe, but I think it makes sense. It makes sense, but I don't believe. Link's childhood was stolen because of the Hero of Time. Legacy, not legacy, but destiny. So Skull Kid makes pranks because he's a child, and Link goes into the Lostwood. He lost a fairy. Skull Kid has 2 fairies. Skull Kid felt alone, lost his friend, which is the 4 giants. Link lost his friend, which are the sages. You understand? Oh, by the way, this theory doesn't exist. I'm just making it up as I go. Just seem more intelligent, but think about it, you know? Because, of course, as a creator, I was like, you know what, let's come up with my own theory. That was Link was Skull Kid, you know? So yes, when you think about it, it's crazy. And then he's recalling the people. So as a Skull Kid, he's like, okay, well, you guys, you could have helped me, you hurt me. Which again, it goes crazy dark. When I was depressed, when I played Majora's Mask for the first time, not the first time, but for the second time or third time, I was so depressed. So then the theory is that Link is dead because he was to Lostwood. And then he finds this hero which is the Goron hero and the Zora hero. And then you look at the Deku hero, and he's not a hero. He's a kid that ran away from home. Link ran away from Hyrule. He didn't run away, but he left Hyrule. You know? So yeah, so, and then he heals her soul. It's like he wishes his soul was healed. You know? Then you see the transformation, which are so fucking fantastic. The Deku, which you're super cool. The Goron, which you're super strong but super slow. And the Zora, where you can go underwater and be the master of water. But Elsewhere, you're not doing much, right? And then there's different design. It was so cool back then. I was like, oh my god, I can do what I want. I prefer the Zora, but as an adult, I like the Deku kid is kind of cool. Why? Because he's weak. If you get burned, you get you're out of the game. Well, you're not game over, but you're going back to the checkpoint. It was just fantastic. You look at the villain. Look at Ganon himself. Look at Ganon, compare him to Valley. Again, I only played Minish Cap. Compare him to the villain and Phantom Hourglass. I don't remember who that is. Ganon was specific, special. Ganon was amazing. Ganon was a guy that wanted power. He went, he played everybody. He wanted to go to the Hyrule, not to kill Hyrule, not to take over Hyrule, not to refer a sacred realm, to get the Triforce. It was the Triforce. The Triforce thinks that he's look how evil Ganon is. And then again, it's amazing. Okay, it's amazing. So Ganon comes in, this Triforce like will refuse you. So technically speaking, the Triforce represents three things, which is wisdom, courage, and power. Right? So the tree separates, and the wisdom goes to Princess Zelda because she's descendant of what you call it, Ilya. This she learned in Skyward Sword, which is the only, well, not the only game, but one of the only game before. Do you know what? The timeline is what? Is Skyward Sword? I think it's Skyward Sword. I think it's Minish Cap, and I think it's Ocarina of Time. I don't know. I don't remember. But Skyward Sword is the reality. So Skyward Sword explains why there's only one Gerudo, and the reason why is because they're descendant of Demise, which is the main villain, which is the evil god. You got Ilya. Give me a second. So you got Ilya. There's a goddess that is a descendant on. And then Demise lose, and then he says something. He said, "My fruited generation." In the first game, when Ganon dies, he doesn't even die. You seal him away. This is the beauty of Ganondorf. Doesn't matter how strong you are, you never killed him. You never were able to kill him. You sealed him away. And then Ganondorf, he says what? He said, "My kids will hunt your kids, and their kids will hunt your kids." So the last thing he does is curse you. And this is why there's multiple reasons. But technically speaking, it's because of Ilya, Demise, and the hero, which is Link. So Link gets reincarnated. So the craziest thing is Ganon gets reincarnated. Zelda is the same Zelda all the way, and Ganon is different. So Ganon was fucking incredible. So he goes in and he gets a Triforce of power. The power is like, okay, you know what? I got you. The wisdom goes to Zelda, the Ilya, and the courage, like, Link is the guy that's gonna save the world, so he needs courage. They go in, right? And then Ganon, instead of thinking I failed, he's like, they don't want to be mine, I'll take them by force. So he wants to take them from Zelda and Link, and he hunts them. The whole fucking 7 years, he spent them hunting. Well, he destroyed Hyrule, he becomes king of the world, but he spent most of his time hunting Zelda and Link. Link is amazing. So Link, what happened, which is completely insane. So when you're young, when you're a kid, right, you meet this guy who's Raro. There's this Hal who gives you advice, and you don't know who he is. The Hal gives you advice, he tells you where to go, he tells you what to do, he gives you advice, right? And then it's like, you realize it's the sage. So the sage wants to guide Link, right? The Ganon was foretold to take the Triforce. They took it way earlier. So he sees Link, said, okay, well, this guy's not ready. He imprisoned Link for 7 years, where Link follows the training. Link's followed the training to be able to fight against Ganon. He sacrificed 7 years of his life, right? Which is insane. Look how nice this is. We have the sunrise, now we don't have it. We have it, we don't have it. And then you have Skull Kid, which is, again, compared to Ganon, it's nothing. But he's mean to be nothing. He's mean to be a puppet. Then Majora's, which you realize there's so much lore behind it, which is that he was a ritual tool used by a tribe long lost ago. That tribe is the Twilight, which are sealed away. But it's part of the Fused Shadow, which is one of the strongest weapons. And then Majora's Mask ends up being a relic. And the mystery behind it, so with such a small amount of time, Majora's Mask was beneath, well, didn't have enough time. So for example, if you look at the, and again, it was all the mask. When you defeat the boss, you had their mask. The two games were fantastic. The two games were absolutely incredible. They will never be done again. But now I have to get to my subject because the batteries are ending on multiple phone. I'm tired. It's 6 o'clock, and I have I have to wake up in 8 hours to call my mom so she can say to the girl, go to this place to give him the phone. Because my mom has the phone right now. And I need the phone for tonight because the tower has an event that starts today. So now the last one for the remake. And the remake is one of the most important part. I want to give myself 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do that. The remake, why it's so important is because I am 33 years old. And I'm going to say something that's really awful. I truly believe that the best movie to ever be made has already been made. The best game to ever been made has already been made. You see the remakes, but if what it does remakes, Final Fantasy VII was Devil May Cry Dragon Quest VII was reimagined. We have this Final Fantasy VII that are remastered. We're gonna have an announcement for Final Fantasy IX to be remastered. What people do they hate? I don't know. But it's so insane. It is so insane. It's like, holy shit, what happened there, you know? And it just blows my mind. Because it blows my mind because of the meaning behind it. It blows my mind because, oh fuck. Sorry. So you see, it's kind of sad. I had to know that everything that has been done possibly won't be beat. Like the last great, I'm starting to get tired, I'm sorry. Last great game that I played was Elden Ring. Elden Ring will be 5 years old. It's already 5 years old. You know? It's insane. And Elden Ring is such a good game, it's so perfect. It is so incredible. But I was talking about something. Ocarina of Time, made 20 years prior, more than 20 years, gave me the like of being on a horse. Which no game that's given me that. Two games have given me that. That's Days Gone. See? All the phone are telling me there's a dying. Days Gone. What else? Elden Ring and Ocarina of Time. I think it's weird that we feel the need to restart everything. It's weird that we feel the need to constantly retry that magic from the past, you know? When you think about the Pokemon game, which I mentioned a lot today, they're one of my favorite series. The Pokemon game, to me, the greatest game ever made was Silver. Nothing beats Silver. Why? Because it was simplicity but masterful. You understand that Silver, when you beat the game, you can play the entirety of Yellow. It's amazing. I'm playing a game right now called Mega Man Star Force Legacy. And it's 25 years old, dude. No, it's 20 years old. Well, how old is it? I don't know. But it's old. And I'm playing it, it's fantastic. And nothing will beat it, you know? So it's just sad. But for me, it doesn't matter because, and again, this is insane because I didn't think about playing this game. Last week, not 3 weeks ago, I did a playlist of all the music that I wanted, all the music that I wanted to listen to, and none of it was new. The newer album that I listened to was Juice WRLD, and I was like, dude, how's that possible? So I find it very sad. But hey, if the best thing has already been released, then thank God. You know, it's just that, for example, Ocarina of Time, it's a remaster. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go because the batteries are dying, and I have to go pee poop. But I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Thank you for watching. Holy shit. 10 hours of live. Incredible. Today, we're receiving my new phone. So today's going to be another 10 hours, 12 hours of live. It's going to be crazy and it's raining. But for now, we're done. I really have to go. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you guys are awesome. Okay. Oh, we have to end everything. Ce sourd, tu m'as fait trop de peine. Don't blink. It's your break. Welcome to the commentary show. Just having a wonderful day. I'm exhausted, dude. I had this fucking pit bull. I woke up. No fucking pit bull, guys. So we're done for today. What a day. 10 hours of videos. Holy. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Take it easy. And I'll see you guys tonight with my new phone. Guys, good night, Crown. Love you, darling. Why are you always fucking offline? So dumb.
I spent over $1,000 on Pokemon cards I had. Right now, if you haven't noticed, the momentum for this has dramatically died down. We started 2.5 weeks ago. On every stream, we were opening like 3 packs. Well, guess what? All Thursday, we didn't open any. A $60 Canadian Super Chat. What is it? $42.96. Dark Ethan, I don't know if you're aware of this. For a $50 contribution, I guarantee a bonus pack. Now, I don't know if we do that, so if we did another $7, I would do a bonus pack. Right? So I didn't say that that was enough 50% that is going to get paid. I did some updates to the set. I did some updates to my Pokemon card collecting and silver and everything on my day off. So to explain what's going on here, so I can show you guys. So check it out. This is my collection of my top hits for Pokemon cards that we've been unboxing for about 2.5 weeks now. Because as you know, this is kind of like a hobby as well as part of my streams and content. So
Good night, Resistance. Good night.
Top value cards, which I have pulled so far, including
Good night, Frenchie.
You might say, oh, what's that in? So I bought these magnetic collector sleeves that you can put the good cards in that protects them.
Good night, Vods.
Very photogenic. You can see they don't cause that reflective problem that I was having. I had them in the top loaders. It looks really nice, doesn't it? So I have all of my top hit cards over here on the set.
Good night.
During my days off, I did a lot of stuff.
Shield.